Halloween's coming, but don't be afraid. Come on in and stay for a while and enjoy another episode of I Know Jax. I'm Joe Talentino. Are you ready to go trick-or-treating? Did you get all your decorations up? Where I live now, we don't have a lot of kids, but many years ago when I lived in St. Mary's, Georgia, we used to have lots of kids come by because we lived in an old house with a porch right next to the old cemetery in St. Mary's. So it was the perfect backdrop for a creepy Halloween. I recently visited the Southern Women's Show at the Prime Osborne Center where I met up with Ron Block and best-selling author Stephanie Evanovich. The Southern Women's Show is tailored for women with fashion shows, cooking demonstrations, beauty tips, art, jewelry, decorating ideas, and more. Now, of course, you're wondering, how on earth a manly man like myself ended up at the Southern Women's Show? Well, it's simple, really. I came to watch a cook and a book. That's my friend Ron Block and best-selling author Stephanie Evanovich, who was a guest at this event. Ron was the cook, and of course, Stephanie, well, she wrote the book.
Okay, so you have Big Girl Panties, which was your first New York Times bestseller, recently out with The Sweet Spot. How's it going?
It's all good.
Tell me about the two books.
Well, Big Girl Panties, or BGP, as we call it in my house, because, you know, I raise boys, so panties is one of those words we don't say. BGP was my debut, and yeah, it did reach the New York Times bestseller list, so that was really good. And it seemed like the secondary characters kind of started taking over the book. So when I asked if they could write, you know, if they could have their own book, and I got the go-ahead, I was really excited. So The Sweet Spot is the prequel to Big Girl Panties. If you've read BGP, then
you know what's going on, and you know what the secret is. So I would say get those books and get reading. And I hear that I have some secret information about the third book coming out.
Would you be talking by any chance about the title?
Yes.
Yeah. The Best Ever is the title of the third book. Clearly we're talking about our hero and our heroine and not the author. But I like the title anyway.
Follow Stephanie on Facebook. She's got a great social media page. I love it. Twitter also. Instagram.
I'll haunt you like a ghost.
I hope I'll get to spend more time with Stephanie and Ron really soon. We had a great time. Now I'm going to say that we've gotten our fair share of serious culture in for this episode, talking about books and reading and all that. Next, we're going to talk about football. Trick or treat, what's it gonna be? Florida or Georgia? Here in Jacksonville, we live and breathe football all year long. Spring and summer with the Jacksonville Sharks, and now college football in the NFL. I'm a proud armchair quarterback. Football is just a great spectator sport. I prefer watching a good game on TV than decorating the yard with pumpkins and, God forbid, having to dress up for Halloween parties. Give me a good game, wings, beer, and some friends, and I'm a happy camper. This week, Richard Miller is not talking about Halloween with the Jaguars. He's talking about something completely different.
Jaguars fullback Will Tafoa joining us here in the Jaguars locker room, and we're asking guys today, if you look up at the video boards, if you see a strategic advantage or anything like that, whether it's in between plays or on the sidelines.
Well, our billboards are pretty impressive. It's like a live size of you on the TV, but usually I just watch to see if I messed up or not. I don't really pay attention too much to anything else other than watching the defense.
And it looks like this season you haven't messed up all that much.
I try not to, but you always got to improve on something, so I pay attention to what I'm doing out there.
I don't think I have used it as a strategic advantage so far. Maybe after a play, after we make a play or something like that, I'll look up at it to see, I guess to see us on the big screen and stuff like that, but I haven't really used it for strategic advantage. And I've kind of caught myself looking at it sometimes during a timeout. You kind of just stare at it, just to see, because it's so big. It's like right there in your face. So, but I haven't really used it yet, for strategic advantage yet. But I'm pretty sure, whenever that time comes this year, because I'm sure it will come up, I'll look at the scoreboard, just to see what I did wrong or see what they did, that we can correct.
And you're seeing a big play up on the screen again as a defender. If you were out there for them, it's kind of demoralizing seeing that play over again up on the big screen. So yeah, it could play psychological advantages and disadvantages as well. So yeah.
Do you catch yourself watching yourself maybe in between plays of, ooh man, that was looking pretty sharp?
Yeah, after a play, I glance up, and if I make a play, I look up and see how I did. And
so a lot of guys come over here, they look up at the jumbotron, they see the Cleveland girls in the pools, and they can't focus.
What about you, Josh? Is it kind of the same thing? You look up at the pools, it's a little bit of distraction for the opposing team?
I would agree, man. Anytime you walk into a stadium that neat, you got to look at it and see how amazing it is.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about in between plays? Do you look up and see maybe something you could have done better? Maybe if you were out of position, in position, good, bad?
Yeah, it helps a lot. Whenever you either miss a play or you make a play, you're always kind of peeking up there and to see how big it is, to really get a zoom on it. It just feels good to let you know, okay, I can make that play better, or damn, that play looked pretty good making it on the big screen.
This has been another week of I Know Jags here on CW17 for Richard Miller. Make sure you check out my radio show Tuesday nights on 1010XL and 92.5 FM, 8 until 10 p.m. It is Miller on Sports.
Last week, Richard talked to the Jaguars about their college memories. If you missed that episode, you can find it on iknowjax.com. Next, let's take a look at what's happening in our area. Here in the River City, we're getting ready for the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, so let's take a quick look at what's going on. First, on Halloween night itself, Friday, October 31st, there's the Georgia-Florida Block Party from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. This is a benefit for Daniel's kids and includes live music, barbecue competition, cornhole competition, flag football, food trucks, and much more. There's also tailgate featuring Florida Georgia Line on Friday, October 31st from 2 to 11:30 p.m. at the Shipyards on Bay Street. Live music by Florida Georgia Line, Cole Swindell, the Cadillac 3, and others. For more info and tickets, visit jackstailgate.com. On game day, November 1st, the Touchdown Showdown opens its gates at 10 a.m. outside Everbank Field's south end zone and Adams Street. This is the largest free interactive attraction during Florida Georgia weekend. You get to choose whether to enter in through the swamp or through the doghouse. Woo! I guess you know which way I'm going. Trick or treat, what's it gonna be, Florida or Georgia? At the Touchdown Showdown, you'll find jumbo screens, interactive games, merchandise, food and beverages, and much more. So this is where you hang out if you don't have tickets and want to watch the game on the big screens. Test your skills in the obstacle course or the bungee run or go for a thrill ride down the zip line. You can also go bumping the night with the big bumper balls. Big bumper balls, I love that. Just an FYI, there's no alcohol in the Touchdown Showdown, but it sounds like there's a lot of fun activities for the whole family. Okay, so we talked about the upcoming big college football game. Next, let's talk about pumpkins. I mean, what would Halloween be without pumpkins, right? These aren't your everyday jack-o'-lanterns. I asked Brian how long it takes to make one of his great creations.
Most faces are about an hour or so. I make my own patterns. I use actual photos. And then once you do, it works the same as any pattern book you might buy in the store. I tape it onto the pumpkin, and then I've got a poker. And I go all around where I'm going to cut. There's all these little itty bitty just holes in it. So once you pull that off, it doesn't look like anything really. It's just a bunch of holes. So my job now is I go in there and I keep referencing back to the pattern. and I figure out what is going to actually be cut out. So when I cut a line, I got to go, okay, this is the black line. This is the white right through here. So then that way, when it's lit up, it looks pretty much like the picture. But what's kind of cool is that a lot of times I don't know what it's going to look like until I'm done. I'll just cut, make sure I'm cutting the right thing, and then look at it. So there's a big surprise finish for me. This one is Lon Chaney from the old monster movie London After Midnight. He played a vampire. And this is actually going to be a pretty tricky one because I don't know how well you can see it, but he's got all these fangs. So I have to concentrate now and see what I'm cutting. This part will drive you crazy if you lose track of where you are. So my thing is, if I'm going to spend a lot of time doing a design, I like something that's more predictable. And on top of that, here in the Florida weather, you're not throwing it away within a week, because pumpkins rot pretty quickly. I'm actually allergic to pumpkins to touch the insides. So it's kind of ironic. I have to immediately wash my hands when I'm done. It's kind of like how Mel Blanc, who did the voice of Bugs Bunny, was allergic to carrots. He would cut the audio and actually chew up a carrot and then have to immediately spit it out. So I suppose I'm in good company on that.
I want to give a shout out to Jackie Staples, who won the $100 gift certificate to the Dim Sum Room. Congratulations. Today we're at Bold City Brewery, the first brewery in Jacksonville, to check out the great things they have here. And I have my buddy Mark Wisdom, the beer guy.
I'm the beer guy.
He's the beer guy.
That's me.
And what do we have in front of us, man? This is like the mother load.
Yeah, I know. These are their cores. These are the ones that they have year round, and these are the first beers that they had. These are, in all essence, the first craft beers made in Jacksonville, Florida. And the first one we have today is their Killer Whale, which is a cream ale.
Which is great.
It's really good. It's one of my favorites. It's crisp. It's great.
No bitter aftertaste.
No
That's
bitter.
what I like.
Yeah, it's great. It's perfect. It's even better on a hot Florida day.
Which is pretty much
all the time around here. Right.
Cool.
Second, we have their Duke's Brown.
Okay.
Now, interesting note, this is actually named after their departed dog, Duke.
So the brown nose.
Duke Brown Nose Ale, exactly. So you're gonna get a lot of caramel notes and nuttiness out of this.
Nutty, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I say I don't like darker beers, but I'm lying all the time.
I know. And the more you drink them, the more you seem to be liking them.
A little
I know.
more caramel.
Well, I'll get you drinking beer.
Yeah, pretty
Good
sooner
stuff.
or later I'll drink beer, right?
Next, we have the Mad Manatee IPA.
Gotcha.
It's an IPA. It's got a lot of nice citrus notes to it, very floral in the aroma and everything. It's a really great, smooth drinking IPA.
I get that citrus little pine note almost. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not over the top IPA.
I'm not big for the hops.
And you're not.
So for me, this is cool.
This is right down the middle, great IPA.
Yeah, absolutely.
And finally, we have one of my favorite styles is the Hefeweizen. This is Fritz Hefeweizen, and Hefeweizen being a wheat style.
Right.
It's characteristically cloudy. It's got the characteristic banana and clove notes that you expect in this style of beer.
Smells good.
Yeah.
I was going to call a beer break, but we hadn't stopped drinking since we started
talking. And it's
Nice.
one of my great beers. And right here at Bold City, they have 3 of these beers that we've seen today. They sell them in grocery
cans,
stores
right?
in cans. Grocery stores, beer stores, all the different stores around town carry this. And they're very widely available here in Jacksonville.
Which is great. Absolutely. And they're, as well as on tap, we've been in a bunch of places.
Absolutely, all over town.
So that's awesome. So that's it for our first time at Bold City Brewery. We'll see you guys next time on The Beer Guy. That's it for this week. I hope you have a great Halloween. Be safe out there. I'll be back next week with a new episode of I Know Jax, and until then, You can see me every weekday online in the daily I Know Jax videos. I'll be back here on CW17 on Saturday at 9:30 p.m. and 12:30 a.m. and on Sunday at 6 p.m. And you can also find the show online, premiering on Friday. Until then, I'll see you on the internet.